So stress can fall into two broad categories. One would be the psychological or behavioral, and someone might feel an excessive amount of anxiety, nervousness, maybe some depression, irritability, anger, hostility. They change the way in which they interact with each other and the way they cope with the demands of everyday life. The other broad category would be the physiological, and people will feel things like an increase in their heart rate, an increase in their breathing rate, an increase in blood pressure, muscle tension, and typically unusual fatigue, feeling like you can't just do much more than you're ordinarily doing. I think the strategies to manage stress can fall into four broad categories. And the first two are largely self-help, which would be to learn how to avoid those triggers that cause stress. So if you're having trouble with someone at work, figure out another way in which you can manage that relationship. Another strategy would be certain types of relaxation exercises like deep breathing, yoga, meditation. Those are all great for reducing stress and helping to reduce some of the physiological consequences of stress. A third strategy would be exercise. Exercise is a great way to manage stress because it has, one, an impact on many of the physiological symptoms that I mentioned earlier that stress produces, such as it can lower heart rate, it can lower blood pressure, it can relieve tension in the muscles. Another strategy is professional behavioral counseling. So if someone is having problems with stress that they just can't manage on their own, there are many behavioral techniques that can be used by counselors that can help the person manage stress. So after several weeks of experiencing stress and trying to manage it on your own, be it with self-help behavioral techniques to try to avoid stressors, or exercise or deep breathing, if that's not working and the anxiety is persisting and the nervousness is persisting and the depression is persisting and the physical signs are persisting and you're getting tired and it becomes more difficult to get out of bed and do your activities of daily living, then that might be the time to seek professional help. And at Johns Hopkins, we would take a stepwise approach. And one step would be, and I think you should ask your doctor what's best for you, but one thing to ask about is behavioral counseling that might be available to you, or medicines, or some combination that will best help you get through this difficult time.